My nipple shield breastfeeding journey. For the first 2.5, maybe 3 months, I used a nipple shield. I had a lot of complications after my cesarean, including post-birth preeclampsia. So I was on magnesium, which sucked. My incision also busted open, and I had to be stapled 18 times, 12 hours after surgery. So sitting up to breastfeed was an issue for me. The easiest way for me to get her to latch without me being in pain was honestly just using the nipple shield. You have to do what you have to do to survive. And in that moment when you are trying not to have a stroke, you're on magnesium, you were so drugged up, the last thing that I wanted was to have blood coming out of my nipples. I just got to that point where I was like, you know what? Give me the nipple shield. As long as she's being fed, it does not matter. Unfortunately, it became somewhat of a crutch for me. And it was really hard for me to not only stop using it, but wean her off of it. I did speak to a lactation consultant about whether or not I should continue to use it, whether it was safe, blah, blah, blah. She basically told me as long as the baby's getting fed and you're comfortable with it, she's comfortable with it, there's really no problem with it. But for whatever reason, I had so much mom shame around the fact that I was using this nipple shield. I don't know what it was, but I felt like a total failure as a mom. And I know that that sounds so silly. This is not in any way to make other people feel this way. This is just what I went through in my own brain. So fast forward to a few months ago, my sister had her baby and breastfeeding came so easy for her. Watching her not using a nipple shield, it completely motivated me to wean her off of it. And honestly, wean myself off of it. Because at the end of the day, it was so inconvenient to carry around with you. Whenever she needed to nurse, you had to have it, had to be cleaned. What if you forgot it? Then all of a sudden, it's this whole fiasco. It takes a second to put on, everything. So I just got to that point where I was like, I don't want to use this anymore. And I think that I needed that little push. I needed to feel uncomfortable with where I was for myself so that I could push through. So one day I decided, today's the day I'm weaning her off of it. How I did it was this. I would latch her with it on, and then mid-feed, I'd unlatch her, take it off, relatch her onto just the nipple. I just continued to do that until she just got so used to not having it that... What's wrong with you? That one day I just decided I'm gonna try to not use this at all, and she didn't even notice. It took, honestly, it might have only taken like a week. A lot of fussing and a lot of uncomfortable moments, but I was super consistent and I worked really hard to get her to wean off of it. And like I said myself, I want to say it was easy. I would say it took work. So if you're out there and you're still using the nipple shield, I weaned her off of it at almost 3 months old. It's not impossible. You can do it. And if you are out there using the nipple shield and you feel shame about it, don't feel shame. Your baby's being fed, and that's really what matters. We're all out here just doing the best we can.